Hello friends, welcome back. Let's learn the next concept of national income, and we began in our previous video with domestic territory. So the next topic in hand is normal resident. Who is a normal resident? The prime importance goes to the definition of national income because national income is the income contributed by the normal resident. So we must understand, we must note who is a normal resident because the income contributed by him becomes the national income. The previous topic talked about the domestic territory. Why is that important? Because many a times we need to know whether that's a part of domestic income or not. There are two different concepts of domestic income and national income. If something is contributed within the domestic territory, that becomes domestic income. And if the income is contributed by the normal resident, that becomes the national income. So these two carry a lot of weightage in understanding the concepts of national income calculation. So let's begin. Who is a normal resident? Normal resident means any person who ordinarily resides in that country. When I say ordinarily resides in that country means because these days many profiles have been shifted on online format. People from India work for America. So they are working for America, but they're not the normal residents of America. Why? Because they are not residing in that country. They are residing in India. Right. So ordinarily residing means they have to be physically there in that country, working for that country. Second is his economic interest should be in that country. So economic interest, as the name suggests, that his all the types of economic activities and transactions should be done in that country. And what are they? Earning, spending, investing. So all these earning, spending, investing, but for some exclusions and all, like investments, but majorly his economic matters are sorted in that country. So a normal resident is a person who ordinarily resides in that country and his economic interest is there in that country, right? But as in the previous concept of domestic territory, we had certain additions and deletions. We do have certain exclusions which we should note for the concept of normal resident. And what are they? Number one, the foreign tourists and visitors. I hope this doesn't need any explanation. Foreign tourists and visitors for whatever purpose, for some official, non-official, personal, entertainment work, political work, anything. If they are tourists or visitors, they are never the normal resident of that country. Second is the foreign staff of embassies, officials and diplomats, members of armed forces, if you are able to recall, the same topic was taken up in the domestic territory also, that sometimes in our domestic territory, others do help us, right? For some official work, embassies and consulates are there, officials from other countries do visit us, diplomats from other countries do come to us. We sometimes take the help from our friendly nations for some defense work. So all these again are excluded and they are not the normal residents of that country where they are helping. Third is the international organizations. And when I say international organizations like UNO, like WTO, etc., WHO. I'm so sorry. So the international organizations like WNO and WTO, WHO are the part of international area. They are not the part of any country's domestic territory, or they are not the normal resident of any particular area. Whereas the employees of such international organizations, try and understand, employees of international organizations are a normal resident of their own country from which they belong. Right. So, for example, if a person from India is working in WNO office of America, so he would be the normal resident of India, not of America, though he is physically there in America. Right. Then the border workers, something has gone wrong with my stylus. Sorry for that. Bear with me. Yes, the border workers, and we also know that people serving the borders, they do switch to different countries. Like those who are serving in on Indian border, they do at times cross the border with the neighboring countries, right? For example, they do go to Pakistan side or they do go to China side, but that does not make them the normal resident of that country, right? And the last point in this series is the crew members of foreign vessels. And this point also, crew members of foreign vessels. This point also was discussed in the domestic territory. Like many foreign vessels, the ships, the aircrafts do visit the foreign land, but that does not make them a part of their domestic territory, or that doesn't make them a part of the normal resident of that country. So, continue reading, working hard. With this, I close this session. God bless.